How many times have you moved to different houses and why? At least 70. My parents were very irresponsible and would decide to move overnight. It was exhausting and made it hard to make friends. I've moved 3 times in my life. The first time was when I was 5 and we moved to a bigger house. The second time was when I was 11 and we moved because my parents got divorced. The third time was when I turned 18 and moved out of my mom's house. A few apartments, a few houses. Not counting my time in the military, 5. I've moved 4 times in my life. The first time was when I was 5 because my parents got divorced and we had to move out of the family home. The second time was when I was 11 and we moved to a different city for my dad's job. The third time was when I was 18 and I moved out of my mom's house into my own apartment. And the fourth time was when I got married and moved in with my husband. 13 times. Various reasons. The first 6 covered my college years. College saw more movement, but my wife and I stayed in one place after we got married. Until we moved to another state. We rented an apartment for a few years. Then were able to buy a house. That was in the late 1990s. And we still live in that house. I've known people who saw buying bigger houses as part of their life plan. It was an investment. So they tended to buy a house because of its resale value, rather than if it had something they wanted or needed. Their plan was to get a better house every 5 years or so. I've lost touch with them before the 2008 housing crisis. So I don't know how that worked out for them. 28 plus. I went to 17 different schools growing up. Spent time in the Navy and moved around a bit after I got married. Probably 20 times. I'm never happy in one place for long. 4. The first I was pretty little so I'm not sure why. Other than maybe my second house was better for young kids. The second one was after my mom died when I was 5. So that was more because my second house had too many memories of her in it. The third time was to find a place with land that has a barn for my dad's shop. And also to be able to find an old colonial house. Probably going to be moving once more when I'm able to afford my own farm. But who knows when that'll be. 23 times if you count only the places I had plans of staying for a couple months at minimum. If you include the intermediate places in between some of those places, it's a lot more. 11. Going on 12. My parents moved a lot growing up due to poverty. Went bankrupt and lost our home. And then getting back on their feet financially and moving us into nicer homes. Then, in my 20s I moved abroad and worked in Korea for 6 years. Where your employer will usually help arrange your apartment for you if you're a foreign employee. So I switched apartments there a few times when I switched jobs. Then I moved back home and I'm on my 3rd apartment since coming back. Moving in November 1st. Got evicted from my last one cause my landlord is moving in. AKA kicking us out. Pretending to live there for a hot second and then flipping it for double the price. Edited to add. I also moved out for university and didn't count that. I'll just respond to you because we're on the same page. I grew up with a Navy dad and moved 12 times in my first 18 years of life. Since then, 12 years, I've lived in the same city and in 4 different apartments.